Hey guys, Christine here, and we are going to talk today about homeschooling on a budget because I know curriculum can add up. It can become really costly to homeschool your kiddos, especially when you're talking getting multiple kids into your homeschool. So I want to share some of the tips and tricks I've learned over the years to save when we're homeschooling, so we're not spending hundreds of dollars every single year to be able to homeschool your kids. So the first resource that I have for you is to just go to your library. It's so simple. It's right down the street. I'm sure almost everyone watching this has a library within just minutes of them. So at the library, obviously you're not going to be getting full curriculum from the library. Maybe you will. Maybe you have some really awesome library that has all kinds of stuff like that. Our library is really small. We are one of the smaller branches in our county, which the library is actually really big. They have this really cool museum there, but the book selection is really small. So we go there a lot just for simple read aloud. So my boys have our own reading curriculum that I just make up for them, and so they're able to get a lot of their readers just from the library. So instead of spending a lot of money buying those readers and keeping them in our cabinet for no reason after they're done reading them, because they don't tend to read books. Once they have it read, they want to move on to something new. So instead of having those just sitting there collecting dust, we're able just to borrow them from the library, return them, done. They're not sitting here taking up storage. We aren't spending money on them. So we save a lot of money just from going to the library. And you can always look too to see if your library has any homeschool resources for you. I know the library here that I know of doesn't have anything. But at the last place that we lived in California, they had an actual homeschool group that met up and they did STEM activities and all that kind of stuff together. So not only can you go there to get your books to help with your homeschool, but you can get some free classes there as well. So just make sure, don't rack up those late fees, guys. That's where it's gonna cost you some money. So the next thing that I do is we borrow a lot of curriculum from friends. So this year I actually have 2 different curriculum that our friend just letting us borrow for the whole year. So that is making me a little nervous because I'm afraid that my kids are gonna somehow rip out pages or something crazy. But so far they've been keeping really good care about it. We had to talk about it before we started school with it. And so they know they need to be very nice with it. We have them in baggies in between so that way we're not having them in their drawers getting ripped up. But it is a really great way to save money because they're just holding it, waiting for the next kid to use it. So especially if you have friends who have multiple kids at their homeschooling, chances are they have something just sitting in their drawer waiting for the next kid to come to grade level. So you can totally borrow curriculum from them. Even if you're not wanting to use it for the whole year, maybe you can borrow it from them just to see if you truly like it. So you're not spending money and then deciding within 2-3 weeks that you don't actually like this. So you're not wasting $50, $100 on possibly just one curriculum. You're able to borrow it, see how you like it, maybe keep it for the whole school year, maybe not, but it can really save you money. I have another friend who gave us a whole pile of drawing books. So instead of me going on and searching and trying to find these drawing books and spending, potentially hundreds of dollars getting these different art books and drawing books, they're on loan to us. We're able to borrow them. So we have saved quite a bit of money just this year alone, being able to borrow stuff from our friends. So, and that's what friends are for, right? We're there to help each other out. So if you know that your friend has something that you love, just ask them, say, would you mind me borrowing that? Or even just taking a peek at it for a couple of weeks to make sure it's something I really want. Another way is to buy used, guys. So if you go on Facebook and you just type in used homeschool curriculum, you are gonna find tons of groups. You may even have some local to you, to where you can just meet up with families locally to either trade or buy curriculum from them. So much money can be saved by buying used, at least 50% off, if not more. And so sometimes this can get a little tricky because you're like, okay, well, what about the consumables? What about these workbooks? If you're just buying the teacher manual and still buying those workbooks new, you're still saving so much money, at least half of it off. It's so much money that you're saving because I found that a lot of times the teacher manuals or the parent manuals are the most expensive items. The workbooks are normally only $20, $25, where the teacher manual then is gonna be, we're gonna get that $50, $75, $100 book. So you can save so much money even if you're just finding those teacher manuals used. Something else that we've gotten used is just, again, read aloud. So there's a consignment sale we have locally, which it actually starts today. That's what I'm doing right after this, is going to the consignment sale. I'm so excited about it. I found so many books there last year. I couldn't even carry them all. I felt like the biggest weirdo because I'm going through there just holding all these books, about to drop them all over the place. I had to go lay them on the counter so I could go back and get more. I have books for like the next 4 school years that I'm not even kidding, I spent dollars on these books. So if you're looking at spending between $5 to $10 per chapter book, I spend about 25 cents per chapter book, and I have enough for this year, and I have some that are above grade level, so I'm just saving them for the next couple of years, and they so much money, and we can keep those obviously as opposed to having to return them to the library, so I'm able to use them for both of my kiddos because I did get them for my oldest. So they're just hanging out waiting for us to use them. And you can find a lot of really cool games. I know game schooling is really big right now too, and adding games just for some hands-on stuff to your homeschool. You can find tons of games at consignment sales, at thrift stores, all those kind of things. So look for those books and look for those games and any other type of little hands-on manipulatives. You can find them for really cheap there. So another thing is free online resources. Guys, a big part of my blog is free resources for you. That was something I was super passionate about when I started this, is I don't want to put my printables on there for $1 or $2 for you to buy. I want to keep them free because I know when I'm looking for stuff, I'm on a budget. I don't want to be spending $2 here, $3 there, because what if that printable doesn't end up working out for our homeschool? So you can go on my blog and you can find a bunch of free printables. All it takes is just signing up for my email list, and then that's also where I'm going to be sharing more free printables to you. So I promise I don't spam you. If I give you something, it's because I love it and it's a great resource, or it's because it's a free printable or something like that that I made. So you can hop on my blog. You can go on Pinterest. Guys, follow me on Pinterest. I follow a bunch of other homeschool bloggers, and I share a bunch of other homeschool bloggers' free resources for you on Pinterest. I do almost all of our reading curriculum and all of our history stuff, minus the Who Was books, because those suckers I'm gonna buy. I get all of that stuff for free just by going on Pinterest and saying I want to do George Washington free worksheets, or George Washington lap book, or George Washington notebook pages. I go on there and I find those all for free on Pinterest because my friends have already made them for you if I haven't already made them for you. So check it out, follow me on there. All of this, which I keep referencing, I have my post up here for you guys. So I will put that in the comments because I forgot to put it on top for you. And you can find my Pinterest page is linked on there for you. So another thing that you can do too is to just save money throughout the year. I know for us a big time is tax time, that we put a couple $100s away for the curriculum that we know we're gonna buy and that we're gonna buy used, or we're gonna buy new. So if you just make sure to save that money either throughout the year or save it at tax time, that is a really great way of making sure that when you need to drop $400 for homeschooling stuff, that you have that money set aside and you're not all of a sudden going, ugh, how am I gonna afford $400 all at once, or $600 all at once, or whatever it is for the curriculum that you guys like. So another thing you can do too is, let me see here, I'm getting lost on it. If you want to save some money, follow your curriculum on social media. So whether it is Pinterest, whether it is Facebook, whether it is Instagram, Twitter, whatever, follow them on social media because they always post their sales. And so I've seen, especially, I'm thinking like December timeframe, most people aren't buying stuff in December. They're looking at Christmas stuff. You're gonna find your homeschool curriculum super on sale during that time of year. And also I've noticed like February, March timeframe that I've seen a lot of curriculum sales. So if you follow your curriculum maker on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, they're gonna post when they have 20, 30, 40, 50% off sales. Sometimes you can get your stuff half off just by following them and knowing when they're having sales. So you can buy your stuff in February as opposed to waiting till June, July, August, right before school's gonna start for you. And you can save big that way. So that's why it's great when you set your money aside, because then you can say, oh, sale, I'm gonna buy it now as opposed to waiting till later. So guys, there are so many ways that you can save on homeschooling. I also have in my post some books for you guys to read. It's just other people who've written about how to save money on homeschooling. There's so many resources out there for saving money. So homeschooling does not need to be expensive. I know that that scared away a few of my friends because they're like, public school is free, homeschooling you have to pay for. And something that I always do too is my kids are getting a private school education. They are not getting a public school education because they are using curriculum that a lot of private schools use and that they pay good money for. And they're also getting that one-on-one attention. So when you're thinking of private schools, you typically think of the smaller classrooms compared to the public schools. So my kids are getting a private school education for the price of 1 month of private school education for the entire year. So that's something that I always try to keep in mind too, is that yes, it's not free to homeschool my kiddos. It does cost us money, But if I were to send them to private school, that's their tuition for 1 month that we are spending for the entire year. So when you look at it that way, we're really catching a pretty good deal. So if you guys have any ways that you're able to budget for your homeschool or you're able to save money for your homeschool, please join me on my online homeschool community. My group is called Relaxed Homeschoolers. You can find me either in the search or I'll also post that down in the comments. So either share on there or share in the comments in here, and I'll talk to you guys later.